Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the top 5 tips of the month of August. Starting off with tip number 1, focused in on the Battleground Brawl Revisited. This is where you're going to do the Fintech challenge, and this is where currently we've got this very easy process to take it on. Throughout the course of the objectives, you'll be forced into using certain champions, but you don't have to use those certain champions. Here's an example on screen right now. You could take in Spider-Ham, which is required for some of the fights, but also you could bring in some top quality counters to a Tumour who you have to face multiple times, like bringing in Storm and maybe even for whatever reason bringing in something to clear the lane. So you could use those particular champions. Yes, it does mean it could be a bit grindier, but it might save you health potions and revives, especially if you find it a little bit difficult to use specific champions. So what you can do is use one particular champion or two particular champions to farm right to the very end to get the job done. An example of getting the job done would be this path right here. You could use, for whatever reason, the mutant champion to take down a Tumour. You then could use another type of champion that's good here, like Absorbing Man, who is part of the objective, but a different one that counters Terex, leaving just Spider-Ham or whoever to take on Dr. Doom. So if you've got path clearers, then you can clear your way through a Tumour, through Terex, so you have an easy run of things, therefore saving you revives and health potions. Check out my full video if you want to have a more visual presence of looking at how to do this particular tip, especially because that particular set of objectives literally spams you through a massive chunk of Summoners Fest realm points, and let's face it, you want to get that all done and dusted. So why not do that using that tip we mentioned? Tip number 2 is the 7-hour crystal. This crystal is really important for a 7-hour rotation over the course of the 2 weeks, August 20th, which is Wednesday, to September 3rd. That is a total of 336 hours. If you divide that by 7, because of 7 hours, it means that the total amount of free crystals you can pick up is 48 crystals overall. Why should you pick up these crystals? Well, it's what's in them that is super important. In-game, currently, we have something called the Reunion Crystal, which you can see right there. This new Rebirth crystal is going to be a buffed version of this crystal right here. I've been saving up 42 from various weeks of farming them. Make sure to go and collect them from your store, by the way. But it's really important because they give free stuff and gives an opportunity maybe to get revives, health potions, units, and other helpful and fun things. So let's face it, these Rebirth crystals, when we cover this on Wednesday, the 20th, I'm sure we're going to find that they're extra buffed, extra spicy, and extra special as well as part of this event. So make sure to set alarms. One thing I will be doing is setting alarms. You can do this by just having a phone set up or having a reminder set. So you can go and set up an alarm to know when to pick them up on a regular basis. Just set an alarm, and that's probably the best thing every 7 hours. But something to be really important about is when you set them, make sure it's not so super antisocial. Like, here's a good example. You can put an alarm in at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. 7 hours after 7 a.m. is 2 p.m. And then it becomes a bit of a gray area because then maybe you've got to figure it out by, hang on, I plan to go to bed at 11 p.m. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? So it's not always going to work out like that because then you've got to go 7, then it's 1400 hours, 2 p.m., 2 p.m., 9 p.m. And you've got like a 3-hour kind of like dead space before you repeat it again. So it doesn't always technically work out. You just got to be very, very careful. And don't ruin your sleep over it, for the love of God. Next up is unit farming. Kabam actually are giving out a lot of units depending if you get involved with some of the stuff that we've mentioned. The Doom cycle is hopefully done for yourselves. If you've been following some of my coverage and videos, then you should have done Doom cycle. I don't have Doom cycle available now, but it looks like you should have had it done and dusted. I think whilst it's completed, I think you got a matter of days. So whilst you're watching this, you're probably down to the last time of the Doom cycle and Dimensional Arcade claiming those particular objectives. Hopefully you did it because it is important, as we said. But there is more. Kabam give out as part of maybe the arena, but I think it might be more in the solo event unit opportunity. So you can farm units in that particular solo event for the arena. Of course, you've got to do the arena first. So that's going to be really important, as well as getting your Rebirth token, which is more so important, but there's units there. In-game as well, currently, we are days away from, well, the 15 units. Oh, big whoop. Yeah, but what about the 500 units that you'll get next week? Yes, Command are giving out 500 units for free for players to grab as part of the double track. More so for non-spending. I think spenders probably got allocated to that earlier. So the platinum track, I've already got it. There's also some other places to grab some free units as well. I say free. Under the Radiance Store, I don't know if people are interested in this one. I do find at times, if for whatever reason, for like a couple of weeks, I just don't want to farm Arena, you can grab a load. I'm very hesitant on this at the moment to buy with Radiance because of next year and my fear around the magic pieces or magic and trying to get that champion. Like, that's going to be quite annoying. So I'm trying to hoard back as much as possible and be very careful. So Kabam are giving out some free units this month. So as long as you participate in some of the events, there's a good chunk. And this actually is something that bends over into the, or spills over into the Relics Reborn event, because that is also going to give you some opportunity for units that could be repurposed in game. The Relics Reborn event is a bit of a difficult one, especially for non-spending players. My approach to it is different to other players, and that is just that I'm trying not to spend my units first. I'm trying to see for the next couple of weeks, 14 days, while seeing this video, probably about 13 days. Then in the final 2 days, make a decision on spending units. I want to make sure I can find out how far I can go with not spending units. I want to see if Kabam put in, maybe on Wednesdays of the next 2 weeks, an objective. If they don't, then that's fine, but I need to see if there's going to be, if I can mitigate the amount of units that I'm spending to then climb up further. I do want to get up to 1,600 points and therefore getting the Rebirth token, because it's an easier way to do it than, well, actually, I'd say it's easy. It's not really, if you kind of consider, well, it is and it isn't. Depends how high your rank of your alliance kind of finishes as to whether you're going to pick up any more like Rebirth tokens as a result. A lot of units invested will get a lot back from this. And of course, 1,500 units could be enough, or maybe 1,600 could be enough to seal the deal with getting you up as far as you need to, like the Thronebreaker Relic Grace Crystal. There's also the higher one, the Valiant one, but it's just if you want to invest your units, it's tough to say, do you have the units? Do you have the progression? If you don't have the progression of Valiant, then you can't do it. So how do we kind of like give multiple coverage to players to give them an indication of how many points they've got available? And FYI, if you do grab yourself all of these, all of the 16, I think when I worked it out, it's about 400 points that you can get. So effectively, you're going to have to be at 1,200 points to start with to make a difference. And that isn't going to be overly possible. There's also going to be a few Thronebreaker relics on the route, which you can see, which I've hit there for 2. And then there's 800 there, position for 2, before hitting the 1,200. And FYI, 3 times 25 is 75. So it's not giving you a large amounts of points to kind of climb you up further. It gives you points, but it doesn't give you to the same kind of volume that you're looking for. So the point of this tip is, make sure to, on a weekly basis, go to your stores, your rank up stores, Radiance Store, Battlegrounds Store, Traders Outpost, spend on the relic stuff, then try and rank up some champions, rank up some relics, and then see how many points you've got leading into the last few days. Then make a decision before the event ends. Do I want to spend any units? If the answer is yes, then do it. But be wary about that investment if you're not going to make it. But we'll talk about that in a further video closer to the end of this event, and you can follow my pattern of how I'm approaching it. And a final tip is Rebirth token farming. We all know that there are some easy ones to get and some hard ones to get. You will have an easy ride in the calendar because you're opening a calendar and getting a free Rebirth token. And you'll also have, during the arena solo event, opportunity for Rebirth token as well. So that is the most easiest places to go and get tokens. But it does get dramatically harder the further you go with it. You know, a good example would be here. If you do the Crucible, so if you explore Crucible, then you're able to get a certain amount of points. Like if you do the lower difficulty and higher difficulty, you get a good amount of points. So these are the second easiest place to go and get, say, 3. 2 from exploring either difficulty, and then 1 from doing or getting up to the realm event milestone 15. All of that very, very possible from an investment point of view. Plus the 2 that you can get from the login calendar and the arena. So there's 1, 2 there, and then there's a further 3 there. So if you did want to get the final one and you're willing to invest, that's where it's like the unit investment to get yourself a second selector based champion. It's a very tough sell. I know that not a lot of players are actually interested in Relics Reborn from the investment standpoint, but people are doing it, right? And that's always kind of a credit to people and their steadfastness in getting stuff done. So yes, there's some easy places, and if you just want to get like the one, then it's easy. You'll just do the mini crucibles and maybe the Act 8 crucible or the normal difficulty, not the legendary, and you'll be able to get it. Plus the 2 that you get either from the, I mean, you could avoid doing the arena. I don't know why there's units in there, so I'd do it. And then of course there's the one that you get from the calendar. And there we go. That's been the top tips. Perseverance. Keep going, smashing out content. You'll have a great time. Once you've got it all done and dusted, maybe have some time to kind of book out this weekend to go and do it, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And good luck in the grind for the month of August. You might be wondering, well, 18th here, the 18th of August right now, Rich, why is usually used at the start? Yeah, well, that's the problem. Everything seemed to come out last week, and of course coming out this week as well. Anyway, have a lovely weekend, week even. I'll see you soon. Bye.